everyone, it's Marisa from bumblebeeapothecary.com, and today I'm going to bring you along and show you what my baby eats in a day. So he is just days away from turning 1 year old. So as of right now, he's 11 months, almost 12 months. And I'm going to bring you along and show you what he's eating these days. He's also still nursing. Usually he nurses before going to sleep and then when he wakes up. And I'll go into his whole routine and all of those kinds of things later in the video. So if you'd like to see his 12-month update, stick around towards the end of the video when I'll be sharing that. I have a series of videos already up on my channel where I walk you through me introducing solids to him using Dr. Natasha's baby gaps, steps for introducing solids to babies. So I have a whole series of those. I'll link that playlist down below so that you can see the very beginning of his journey for introducing solids with this gaps method all the way to the end. And then this is like a continuation of the end of those videos where he's at a few months later. For breakfast, he pretty much always has scrambled eggs. He really loves them. They're easy for him to eat. And then he also has sauerkraut along with them. And then I also like to give him plenty of fat with each meal. Usually the fat is in the form of butter. I like to cut it up in these little mini butter stick shapes. I like to serve it to him cold so that it's easier for him to eat and pick up, and he loves to feed himself butter this way. The time that he eats lunch is kind of inconsistent these days just because of where his naps fall right now. He's usually taking a nap around the middle of the day, and I'll go into his whole schedule and everything later on when I give the 12-month update. But he'll sometimes eat lunch before going down for a nap, but oftentimes he won't have it until later in the day when he wakes up. And so he'll just have similar things to what he has for dinner. Oftentimes these are just dinner leftovers. So today for lunch he's having some pieces of chicken, some pieces of cooked carrot, and then sauerkraut, and then the little mini cold butter sticks as well. I will give him meat stock oftentimes with meals. He usually drinks most of his meat stock, and he'll drink larger quantities at a time when he has it in between meals. So I do try to give it to him in between meals every day too. And then at some point during the day, usually with breakfast, but sometimes with lunch, I will give him his cod liver oil. He gets the Rosita cod liver oil, and I just give him the amount that he'll take each time. I also like to give him water to drink different times throughout the day in between meals. For dinner, he will typically have what we're having. Sometimes I have to tweak it a little bit to make it a version that he is able to have at this time. So for example, for the rest of us for dinner, we're having something called halushki. It's like a version of halushki, which is a traditional Czech dish. So it has cabbage, shredded carrots, ground beef cooked in some tallow, salt and pepper, onion, and then also some paprika. So he can have everything except the paprika has nightshades in it, and I'm not giving him nightshades quite yet. So I cook everything like I normally would, but I don't add the paprika. Then I take out a little portion for him to have, and then I add the paprika for the rest of us. So he's having some of that. So the ground beef, onion, cabbage, carrot, and then I'm also giving him some butternut squash as well. He's also having his sauerkraut, and then his little butter sticks, and then a little bit of meat stock too. Another thing that I like to try to give him every single day is kefir. I really like these little silicone squeezy pouches. I will link them down below, but they are so handy for giving kids things like soft cooked foods. We mostly like to use them for kefir and then later on smoothies. So at least once a day, I'll give him some kefir in this. I have it kind of half and half right now, kefir cream and then regular kefir. And it's just plain, nothing's mixed in. So this is how I like to have my kids eat from about 1 to around 2, and during this year from age 1 to age 2 we'll start to add in some of the things that they haven't had yet, like maybe some of the nightshades a little bit, see how they do with those, citrus, things like that, try to expand it a little bit, but it will pretty much stay to full gaps until around age 2, and then at that point we can start kind of carefully testing if they're ready to come off of gaps, see if they're ready for some of the starches first, and then maybe properly prepared grains and just see how they do with them. So if you remember, 2 of my kids were able to transition around this age just fine to full Weston A. Price or Nourishing Traditions style diet, and my second child, my oldest son, had to stay on gaps for a while and overcome some things. So around 2 is kind of a good age where I like to start kind of testing the waters and see whether they need to be on gaps, address some things for a while yet, or if they're ready to transition to more of a full Weston A. Price, Nourishing Traditions type of way of eating. Another thing that we'll gradually add in after he turns 1 is fruit. So far, he has not had any fruit yet, and I just find that my kids do a lot better if we just wait on fruit for a while. So that'll be another thing that we'll be gradually testing, seeing how he does with, and then eventually adding in after he turns 1. Okay, and then I also just wanted to share a little 12-month update for you guys. I shared an update for his other each 3-month milestone so far, and so I thought I would continue that just by giving a little 12-month update. So like I said, at the time of filming this, he's just a few days away from his 1-year birthday. So he's 11 months, almost 12 months, and he is getting to be so much fun. His character is really coming out. He's such a happy little guy. He's sleeping really, really well. He'll go to bed pretty close to 7 p.m. at night, and then he'll sleep all the way till 7 a.m. in the morning, sometimes a little bit later. He'll usually wake up and I will nurse him one time, sometime in the night. Sometimes he'll sleep all the way through, but most of the time he does wake up once, which I'm still totally fine with. And then, like I said, he is still nursing during the day as well, usually when he wakes up from sleeping and then before he goes to bed for the night and before his nap. Sometimes he'll get an extra time in there if it seems like he just needs it, but for the most part, that's what he's sticking to for right now. And then, like I said earlier, I was also going to talk about what his nap schedule has looked like. He's been down to just one nap per day for a while now, and he usually is ready for that in the middle of the day. So this can be anywhere from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., but lately it's pretty consistently been around noon that he's ready for his nap. So sometimes we'll fit in a little bit of lunch right before his nap, and sometimes we will just go ahead and wait and give him his lunch when he wakes up. Just depends on what he feels like he's ready for and what he's needing at that time. And then he's having his 3 meals, his meat stock in between meals. He's reaching a lot of really fun milestones. He's saying some words. He says mama, dada. He says all done, kitty, and ball. And then I can really tell him trying to mimic a lot of other words too, so that's really fun. He crawls everywhere really fast. He's pulling up, standing against things. I can see him starting to try to stand without holding on to anything, but he's not quite there yet. All of my kids walked at 13 months. I had some who crawled at 7 months, some who crawled at 10 months like him, and then everybody so far has walked at 13 months, so it'll be fun to see if he's going to follow that and do it. From the way it's looking, I'm thinking he's probably going to do the same thing. And he's such a happy little guy, so fun. His older brothers and sister love him so much. One of his favorite things to do is to play outside, and we've been having really beautiful mild weather this fall, so he's been able to do that still a lot. I have some little Carhartt overalls that he wears so he can crawl around in the yard, and he loves playing out there, loves going on walks, loves having books read to him, loves playing with toys on his own. He just is very content to play on his own. He's such a happy little guy, meeting all of his milestones just like we would like to see, just super content and happy. I hope that you enjoyed coming along and seeing what my baby is eating in a day right now as he's almost 12 months. Be sure and check out that description box for links to the other videos if you haven't seen them yet, where I take you through the whole journey of introducing solids to him previously. Also check out that description box for links to free ebooks and other goodies. I have links to things like my GAPS meal plan, my coaching membership, and other things. Also have links to our favorite things that we like to use. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with anybody else who you think would like it or would find it interesting or helpful. And if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I get out new videos every week on nourishing recipes and natural living. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.